Welcome back. Still watching Business Morning on Sunrise Daily. Now, let's talk about the Naira. That's appreciation. It's been on for 4 days now. I guess it's time to hope a bit that it's come to stay. Let's hear what Dr. Adesola Sumoni, Senior Analyst with Financial Derivatives Company, has to say. Hi, Dr. Sumoni. Good morning, and thank you for your time this morning.
Good morning, Ini. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah, so we've had appreciation on the Naira since Friday up till yesterday. Has this come to stay? Do you see this?
I think the answer to that would be to maintain a wait-and-see approach. We don't know yet. Obviously, we are a little bit optimistic that it comes to stay. But again, it's not random. It's driven by a host of factors, right? One of them is the pain of the backlogs. Just yesterday, the central bank announced that it had completed paying the backlogs, verifiable backlogs of around $7 billion US. I think that is huge, that is positive, and that has flooded the market with some positive sentiment. And good, it's also a very, very positive signal that, especially for foreign investors whose money has been, for lack of a better word, stuck in Nigeria for years. So I think that is positive, and that is part of why we are seeing the Naira gain against the US dollar. Another one is on the back of the hike in benchmark interest rates at the last meeting in February. We know from economics that higher prices reduces the quantity demanded, and that's part of what we are seeing with the hike in benchmark interest rates by around 400 basis points. It kind of increased the cost of capital, thereby reducing the demand for US dollars. In addition to that, the hike in benchmark interest rates also attracted, foreign portfolio investors, together with the portfolio together with the cocktail of measures implemented by the central bank, all of which have been viewed favorably by market watchers, by foreign investors, as well as domestic investors. And what is happening is that we are seeing an inflow of foreign portfolio investors. Also, we are seeing an inflow of remittances into the economy. Last year, remittances to Nigeria was around 20 billion US dollars. So bringing all of those together, that's part of why we are seeing the Naira strengthen at this time.
Another meeting next week. Some people expect that there'll be another hike. So do we say we're on the right track? If we continue on this track, then we might at least get a fair value of the Naira?
Indeed, right now, I think the Naira is in the stage where we call price discovery, right? Trying to find the fair value of the Naira. Still on the meeting, FDC will believe that the central bank would increase benchmark interest rate by around 100 basis points to around 150 basis points at the next meeting. And the reason is very simple. It's twofold, really. One is to still, again, increase further the cost of capital, thereby reducing the pressure on the exchange rate. But secondly, and more importantly, is to anchor inflation. Like I mentioned, in February, inflation we know was reached like a 20-something year high of 31.7%, right? And so at this point, we need more tightening. Actually, at the last meeting, the central bank governor preferred to tighten more by around 425 basis points compared to the 400 basis points. So I think we're going to see some more tightening, and I think it will be positive. It is being viewed positively or favorably by market watchers as well as international investors. We are seeing inflows just this month, I beg your pardon, and last week we saw more inflows into the FX reserves month on month by almost $1 billion US, driven mainly again by foreign portfolio investment and remittances. So I think it is positive. I think the central bank is going to increase benchmark interest rates, and I think we should continue to see strengthening in the Naira.
All right, I'm talking about inflation. Now, what's happening to domestic commodities prices?
At this point, domestic commodities prices are still mainly mixed, but we still have prices through the roof, for lack of a better word. We've seen the price of sugar up 100%, about 102%, I beg your pardon, month on month to 85,000 Naira. We've seen the price of cement up around 67%. A bag of cement that is to 9,500. We've seen also the bag of flour up, 50 kg bag of flour up 30% to 60,000 60,000 naira. For some agricultural commodities like tomatoes and peppers, we've seen those ones trend downwards by around 14% and 12%, respectively, to 30,000 and 75,000 respectively. And it's also important to know that the food inflation is also quite high, and it is still sticky downwards. Currently, it's around 34%.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Adesola Somoni, Senior Analyst with Financial Derivatives Company, for sharing those information with us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's take a break. We'll be back.